Hello, my name is Dan Orban, and I'm the band director at Fieldstone. This video serves as an introduction to myself and the band experience you can expect in 7th grade. Let's jump in. Our band program comprises 2 grades, 7th and 8th grade, and each band is split into 3 to 4 class periods each. Your classes will meet every other day, either only on A days or only on B days, and that'll happen opposite of your PE classes for most of you. In addition to those big classes, we're going to have small group lessons once every 2 weeks or so. Those will be just your instrument groups like just flutes or just clarinets. And the nice thing is that I have control over each and every one of those little groups, so I can invite whoever I need to for that particular group and work with just that instrument. In the past, you guys had some trouble with the wind classes and how those were scheduled, and I know sometimes you didn't have optimal lesson groups. We don't have that issue at Fieldstone. There are 2 concerts per year, one in the winter and one in the spring. You'll have the option to do NYSSMA Solo and Ensemble, and 8th graders eventually you'll be doing NYSSMA Majors. My expectations for you: be respectful, be prompt, that means be somewhere when you're supposed to be there, on time. Come prepared, meaning what are we working on, what stuff are you supposed to have, make sure you have it ready. Work hard, communicate with me anything that you need to communicate, good or bad. And take responsibility for your own actions. This sign right here is a sign from my old high school band room. It says desire plus determination plus commitment equals success, and that's a motto that I hold by. Supplies. Here's the supplies that you can expect to be ready with when the fall rolls around. Obviously you need an instrument. We do supply some instruments at Fieldstone, or you can provide your own, or you can rent yours from a music store. If you use an instrument that has reeds, make sure you have reeds, the correct mouthpiece, or percussionists, the sticks, and a bag to put them in. Woodwinds, cork grease, brass, valve oil, or slide oil for trombones. Make sure you have a pencil. I will be providing you with a folder, and your band book. This over here is the 7th grade band book. It's called Sound Innovations, and you would need book 1. Many of you already used that when you were in elementary school. If you don't have that, we will either need you to purchase that or you can get it through me. Instrument-specific supply lists will be on the band website. If you want to look up exactly what kind of things a clarinet should have, it'll have a list of all those things for you if you don't know that. Grading policy. There are 3 main portions of how I grade. Participation, which means did you show up, did you try, did you do all the things that I asked? Whether you succeeded or not, did you try? That's 40% of your grade. Lessons, showing up to your lessons and being prepared for your lessons, that's another 40%. That's 80 total right there. And then assessments, like tests and quizzes, the things you would actually play for me, is 20% of your grade. There's also room for extra credit if you go to a local concert, maybe one of the other North Rockland concerts in the district, or if you do something else. There's also every once in a while there'd be some extra academic assignments you can do for a few extra points if you need it. The way that most of those tests are done are through Google Classroom, which most of you are now very familiar with now that we've been doing all this iLearning. The way I do my tests, they are pass-offs for your playing test. That means I don't just hear you and give you a raw score for how well you did. I have you do it, and if it's not quite there yet, you would then retake it until we get to a minimum standard of achievement for that test. You can retake it as many times as you need to in order to get to that level of performance that we need. You'll get a quarterly assignment sheet telling you exactly what you're going to be playing for me. You would take a video of yourself playing that thing on whatever device you have at home or at school. You can use, I have some iPads that I give out to students. You log into Google Classroom, you'd upload your video, and then I give you feedback and let you know if you passed it and you're good to go and you don't have to worry about that one anymore, or if you need to retake it. There are no penalties until we get to the end of the quarter. Obviously, we have to cut off at some point so we can put in your grades. Behavior. Now, most of these I don't have to worry about. I'm very fortunate at Fieldstone that behavior is almost a non-issue. These top 3 are things that I frequently use with students, but the bottom 4 I rarely, if ever, have to use, which is great. But they are there in case students decide that we need a more significant contingency for their behavior. So hopefully we don't have to get to those with you. Safety protocols. We'll talk about fire drills and lockdowns when we get into the building, talking about where to go and what to do and all those sorts of things. Organization. Here's how we keep our stuff together. There are lockers in the band room, not talking about your school locker. You're going to have a school locker with all of your regular school stuff. You're going to have a band locker for your band instrument. Those are assigned individually. Sometimes kids share. You would write down your combination and you lock it every single day to make sure that nobody touches your instrument and nobody takes your instrument. You're going to have a band folder, again, which is provided for you. You're going to keep that in your backpack every single day to make sure that that's with you. If you need to study something or you need to work on a part and you don't have your instrument, you can still look at that at home. The sheet music and books that I provide will be in some filing shelves over on the side of the room, and we'll show you where those are when we get in the building. Rooms. We have the main band room, which is room 10. That's the one that you see pictured behind me here. That's the main room that we work in. There's also a much smaller lesson room across the hall called room 11. That's where you'll have your small group lessons, like just the saxophones or just the percussionists. There's a thing called the cello bass room, which is a side room, which is where some of the band stuff is stored, but mostly it's orchestra storage. There's an office for me and the orchestra teacher, Mr. Sharon, and then obviously we use the auditorium across the hall for any concerts and assemblies. About me. If you want to learn a little bit about me, here we go. This will be my 11th year of teaching coming up. I'm also the director of the North Rockland High School Marching Band, which any of you can get involved with. I'm a French horn player originally, although now I play a little bit of all the instruments. I'm a husband and father of 3 little boys. I went to Florida State University. Over those years, I joined many bands, orchestras, marching bands, and drum corps. I'm a New York Rangers fan and a big Formula One racing fan, and my favorite foods are buffalo chicken anything and banana milkshakes. Here's a few pictures. This is my family. Here's the new baby. Here's my dogs, and here's a picture of when I was a performer and I was performing in a drum corps. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at dorban@northrockland.org. I'm sure there will be some things over the summer that pop up that you might have a question about. If not, then I look forward to seeing you in the fall. Obviously, we don't know exactly how all of this is going to play out in the fall. I'm sure there will be some adjustments we'll have to make, and I don't know exactly what those will be yet. But yes, there will be social distancing in place. We'll have to worry about making sure that we are sanitary as possible, and we will take care of all of those considerations when the fall hits. Thank you, and I can't wait to meet you guys. See you soon.